Welcome aboard, everyone. My name's Davis, and I'll be your cabin operator for the ride up the mountain. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. If you have any concerns, don't hesitate to let me know. If you want a high five, I give pretty good high fives. Yes, he does. Yeah. All right, good way to start a tram ride, I'm telling you.
What's the weather like up there right now?
Last time I was up there, it was frigid and a little windy.
Was it raining or snowing?
No, neither.
Nothing?
It's just icy up there. We had a lot of rain last night, or I guess technically in the afternoon and morning. And so when nighttime came, it just froze. So that's all that's really up there is ice and some wind. All right, so our journey is going to last about 14 to 15 minutes long. We'll be traveling about 13.6 miles per hour or 20 feet per second. If you keep your eyes peeled and with a little bit of luck, you might spot some of our indigenous wildlife out here. We have mountain lions, bobcats, mule deer, and black bear as far as large game goes. Our final destination at the top of the mountain is 10,378 feet above sea level. It's about a 4,000 foot increase from where we're leaving now, which is 6,500 feet.
No puedo grabar. Graben, porque no puedo. Mamá, no estoy grabando.
Now, if you look out my side of the window, you can see an access road that we're passing over. This road leads to the first tower and was in fact used to haul all the men and equipment necessary to build it. The tower stands at about 232 feet tall, tallest above ground structure in New Mexico when it was built. Lanes at about an 18-degree angle toward the city. Now there's going to be a bit of a forward and backward swing as we go past this tower. So what I need everybody to do is put your hands in the air like you just don't care and let out your best roller coaster noise when we go over. Ready? You guys let all your woos out too soon. Premature wooers. I think they make a pill for that. I've only got the windows opposite myself. You'll see a large boulder out there on a little hill. That's golf ball rock. That boulder is about twice the size of this cabin. And if you look out my side and a little bit behind me, there's a hill over here. Let your eyes glide up to the top of it and you'll see a boulder up there at about a 45-degree angle. We call that one cannon rock. Kind of looks like a cannon ready to shoot off towards the top of the mountain. That boulder is roughly the size of this cabin.
Is that the one to the left?
Yeah, behind me on that hill, the top.
What do they call it?
Cannon rock.
Okay.
Some people think it looks like a finger, so I mean, if that's...
I'm trying to get a visual on that.
And the windows opposite myself, there's a real flat rock here. Call that one fish rock. A lot of people say they can see a mouth, a fin, and a tail on it. If you can't see the fish, that's okay. There's a bar at the top you can try again later. And if you look out my side once again, let your eyes drop into this crevice over here. Follow up, up, up. Do you see that bunch of trees? Slightly to the right of that is a chimney-like structure. Looks like a bunch of boulders stacked on top of each other. That's Totem Pole Pinnacle. It stands about 7 stories from the bottom to the top. And interestingly, it's only one rock, but it's been eroded over time and now kind of looks like a multitude of rocks. The area we're passing opposite myself is known as Critical Point. It's the only area during the tram's construction in which dynamite was used to blast part of the mountain out of the way. Can you see the TWA plane? Yes, you can. I'm not sure if you can see it today, but I'll try and point it out. We've been socked in at the top all day, but it looks like the clouds have moved, so I'll definitely point it out. The tram was built, or at least commissioned, to be in 1964. It took about 2 years to finish at the cost of $2 million. Though if you tried to build it nowadays, it'd be more like $30 million due to inflation. 5 months of the 2-year construction period was dedicated to stringing the cables we're traveling on, which are 2.7 miles long. They did that via helicopter. tram took about 5,000 helicopter flights to complete. The second tower we're coming up on here in a little bit doesn't have an access road like the first one does. So it was built entirely by aircraft. 2,000 of those 5,000 flights alone were dedicated to it. Now when they were building the tram, they were real concerned about making a straight line from the bottom to the top. They wanted the towers to align and they didn't want the cable staff to bend. So when they finished construction in 1966, they measured their line from bottom to top to see just how accurate they were. Turns out they were only 3/8 of an inch off. So here comes our second tower. This one's about 80 feet tall. For some reason, it's a slightly darker shade of blue than the first. I have no idea why, but my best guess is they lost their paint card when they went to Home Depot. All right, bit of a swing as we go past this one as well. And Jim. If you look out my side of the cabin and toward the mountain, you can see the other tram car approaching. They'll mark our halfway point. Feel free to wave, take pictures, do your best to embarrass them because they're probably doing the same thing to us. As long as I don't see it. So we have about 7 minutes left. Either I still haven't decided if it's my first or second favorite part of this job. Well, what kind of animals? I don't know how high up the bears go, but you'll see animals all the way up. You see bears up there? Yeah, there you go. I'm sure they all go all over the place.
I've seen them down like near the parking lot. I've seen one like 150 feet.
We had bobcats on that access road I pointed out by the first tower. They're walking on there, so yeah, just as he says. Typically you can find wild turkey up there. I had some customers on a couple cabins ago that said they saw mule deer just outside the terminal. Yeah, there's 2 of them there just coming in the trees, messing around. A lot of chipmunks as well. Alright, so if you look out my side of the cabin, you can see this rock face jutting out the side of the mountain. Every now and then we'll get some rock climbers that'll hike out here and they'll scale this rock face. The problem is the 1.4 billion year old planet is too brittle for them to use equipment, so they have to freehand it the whole way up.
No way.
So tram cars go up and down all day long. They get their picture taken hundreds of times a day. Guaranteed to be on somebody's Facebook. So I've nicknamed this one Ego Boost Rock. This canyon we're in now is known as Echo Canyon. This is the only part of the mountain that has its own natural year-round water source. There's a spring at the top, feeds it all the way back down to the bottom. The rest of the mountain requires rainfall or snowmelt forage moisture. And if you wanted one of these trees out here as a Christmas tree, you need a pretty large living room as they all run anywhere from about 80 to 115 feet tall. These trees here, it's ice. I mean, some of it may be some residual snow, but most of them, all of it,
Frozen out of the clouds, probably.
yeah, out of the clouds, from the moisture yesterday. We've been socked in since yesterday. This is the clearest it's been in 2 days.
I'll bet you the top. You'll see more of it on the west side of the tree and on the east side.
Also, this is TWA Canyon. Most parts of it are all right down in that crevice.
Okay.
Right there.
I've looked for it several times. I've never.
You can see, you can actually see the 40. Yeah, the 40.
It's an aircraft.
It was, I believe TWA is the company.
Yeah, Transworld Airlines and plane to crash.
It was a plane crash in 1955. It was a 404 twin Martin engine plane. That's why you can see it. It's
gone now.
yeah. Next time you're coming down to whoever your captain office, it's down in here. Just ask them. Pretty much anyone knows where it is. They can show you. Yeah, it's a 404 55. 9 years before the tram was built. Alright, so if you look at the granite out here, you'll notice it has a plethora of color to it. There's a lot of pink there with reddish hues, orange and yellow, just to name a few. There's a lot of minerals in the rock that make that happen, and as a result, when the sun starts to set, the sunlight hits the mountain at a certain angle, the little mountainside will glow this really brilliant pinkish red color. That's why when the Spanish were first exploring New Mexico, they named these the Sandia Mountains. Sandia is Spanish for watermelon. So when the sunlight lit the mountain up like that from a distance, the Spanish thought it looked like a giant slice of watermelon.
Mamá,
It's actually, as long as you return it, I'm leaving in like an hour and a half. Also, don't think that, off of the cable.
That's coming out of the top.
Yeah. It's just ice off the table.
Tiene 3 cables de seguridad para que no me canse.
Oh, we'll run in anything. We will only close down for 2 inclement weather conditions. One is lightning within a 5-mile radius. Phone system's grounded, so a lightning strike theoretically wouldn't cause any harm, but better safe than sorry, and it scares the hell out of people. And the other one would be wind. We can handle 60-mile-per-hour head and tail, 45-mile-per-hour crosswinds. There's 18 inches between us and the towers, so if we're swinging more than that, we can't make the trip. We're actually on standby until 4:30 yesterday for winds. Last I checked, it was about 30 miles per hour. I don't know if it's changed over time. Alright, so we're slowing down to come into dock here at the upper terminal. The boarding passes you used to get on are a 2-way ticket, so you're going to want to hold on to those. We're running every 15 to 20 minutes or so. Last tram car down for the evening, excuse me, is whenever the last person out of the restaurant happens to be. And the High Finance restaurant is located north or out my side of the cabin, down the red boardwalk. There may be a bump or two as we come into dock here. If there is, I'll try and point out ahead of time so they catch anyone off guard. Look at this one right here specifically. That's the one I always notice when I come up. But I feel spoiled. Like chipmunks and squirrels have to live in this. I don't even. I be so hard.
But you have like a couple of snake moles, like fur.
Yeah, that's gotta help. Got a little bump coming up kind of around now. There we are. I can't recall if I mentioned it yet or not, but this building here is the Four Seasons Visitor Center. Restrooms, water fountains, all kinds of goodies in there.
That's so unusual. Chucky's like, I'm not getting that.
¿Trajiste gorro? ¿No trajiste gorro? Ni siquiera pensé que ibas.
Got a bump coming up. Alright, you'll be exiting the doors opposite myself. There's a bit of a step when you exit, so please be careful. My coworker Ashley will be letting you off. As soon as this green light next to me turns off, and those big red wheels up there stop spinning. We dock just a little bit before the bottom tram car does, so we have to pull them in and all the slack out of the cables before we can open the door. Hope you enjoyed your ride, and I hope you enjoyed the top of the mountain, everyone. Take care, stay warm. It's really icy out there, so please be careful.
Close to the top, folks, please. Watch your step when you're exiting. It's very icy and slippery out here, folks.